Welcome back, everybody, to Pull Hook Golf, the podcast. I'm your host, Matt Cook. Tonight, we have an epic episode for all of you that are not watching the World Series. Yes, folks, it's absolutely killing me. I'm a diehard Yankee fan, and they are about to be swept by the Dodgers potentially, but they are currently up in the game, so we are hoping that it stays that way the rest of the way. But we've got an awesome episode for those of you tuning in. First off, we're going to go over the tee-off report. That's where we begin our episodes now, with Buttsy. Then we've got the pro golf recap with the ZOZO Championship. We didn't talk about the other one this week, which is the Genesis Championship that was over in South Korea. We're going to be talking about that because there was a little bit of drama behind that whole ordeal. And then we got the Swannies Style Segment as per usual. That is a fan favorite. We've got the PAC's proposed changes, which that is the Players Advisory Council of the PGA Tour. They are proposing changes for this 2026 season, and it's pretty wild in terms of what they're looking to do. So we're gonna get into that as well. Now, that being said, we also have a LIV Golf update for everybody. That's exciting. But first, let's start off with our the LIV Golf update is one that many people don't necessarily love, but some do. Some absolutely love it. Now, the Swannies Swannies Style Segment. We're not there yet, folks. We're not there yet. It's going to be a great episode, but no, the Swannies, we want to give them a shout out here as our sponsor of this episode, Swannies.co, folks, which is Swannies Golf. I've got their Matt on right now, which that's my name, Matt. So just go to the website, take a look. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Appreciate that. But make sure to utilize the promo code for 25% off. You can use PullHookGolf25 at checkout for 25% off your entire order at Swannies.co. Tell you what, these sweatshirts are comfy. They just had a big warehouse sale, so I'm still waiting on my Black Swan stuff. I'll be wearing that as soon as I get it. That's their higher end line that I've been talking about for 2 weeks now.
This is one of my favorites you got on right now. So it kind of has a camo look from a... Oh, my God, almost pulled my fucking... Hey. It looks like camo from a distance, but when you get up close, it's like some sort of a native print.
Yeah, it's kind of like an Aztec print, you know what I mean?
Sorry.
I was feeling it. Okay.
Set the dance.
Let's go ahead and get started here with the tee-off report. I'm pumped about this tee-off report this week because instead of doing the word association to get us kick-started, I wanted to start off with your top tips, Buttsy. Your top tips for kids that are just starting to play the game of golf. So what are your top tips for kids playing the game of golf?
Oh, God, where do I begin? I'm trying to think back when I started. I think you got to figure out what way you really prefer to consume tobacco early in life. I think you got to, is it a chew? Are we doing Zen? Are we doing the real thing? We smoking darts? We smoking cigars? What are we doing? Snuff? And then...
Do kids know what snuff is? I don't think I know what snuff is.
You know, I don't know. I think it started for me. I went to a wedding and stole a cigar, ran into a park and smoked it until I puked. And then figured out this is fucking amazing. And I was addicted. No.
I tried dip once, by the way. And it was dip.
Oh.
Tobacco dip, you know, chew. And sure enough, I tried it one time, puked my absolute brains out. It was peach flavored.
That's why you didn't want to do it when I brought
not a chew guy, and I've never smoked a cigarette either. So
good.
Yeah.
Good. They're delicious. Don't start.
But kids do get prepared.
You got that. You got to figure that out. You got to find a loyal adult that will buy that stuff for you. Because, you know, depending on when you start, you're going to have several years before you can buy it yourself. Just kidding, folks. That's a joke.
Big update there from Trot Golfer, 6'4" Yankees. Continue.
Oh, shit. No, I'm very invested in the series as well.
Too. We're low on numbers because of it.
Yeah. A lot of baseball cards ride on that as well, values. But, yeah, no. I think you need to practice. You need to practice more than you think you need to practice. That's what that'd be
Top tips.
Yeah, you got to practice. Whether you have some famous coach or whatever, you need to start out with the basics. Put a club on the ground. Learn how to aim first and foremost, and then practice aiming every day of your fucking life.
To piggyback on that, you are never as good as you think you are in golf.
No.
Remember that,
not.
kids.
Yeah, did Tiger say that?
I don't know.
Should have.
I know, he really should have.
Yeah. The only one that was as good as he thought he was Mo Norman.
Mo Norman.
Yeah, but he
really
autism.
was.
He was autistic too, though.
Hey, talking about autistic people, have you seen the guy on Instagram? The autistic guy that makes like all those shots?
I can't comment on that because I just don't believe him. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think he's real. I think he's like, shit, what if I just said I was autistic? I'd probably have a way bigger growth in my account if I just went that route. And
really
think
in a
it's
niche.
Fucking unbelievable. This is the most high-performing autistic golfer I've ever seen in my entire life. No, I think he's authentic. I think he's great.
Hell of a tip.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, exactly. Now, moving right into the next segment, since we're already hot on it, we're going to go right into Buttsy on a Soapbox. This is one of the absolute new favorite segments. You're seeing it all over social media. I've been getting a ton of DMs recently telling me that they love the pet peeve segment is what people are calling it. I call it Buttsy on a Soapbox. So, Buttsy, what is your biggest pet peeve at the end of a golf round?
Pet peeve in general, socially on the golf course is cheap people, cheap golfers. You're playing the wrong fucking sport if you're cheap. And I know there's munis out there that are $20 and allow you to play in the summer without a fucking shirt on. But even still, whether you spent $20 to play golf or $200, the guy that finishes a round at a nice club, first off, he knew what it was going to cost. Don't finish the round and stiff the fucking cart kid because you paid so much to play. And definitely don't verbalize that to anyone. Do not tell anybody, fuck, see that kid. Like, have you seen these people? Dude, they'll see the cart kid and park a quarter mile away from the fucking bag drop and walk around the building to avoid the uncomfortable nature of the conversation when it's like, just give him $5. You really should tip him a 20, especially in today's day and age. A 5 is like a dollar bill, but
at least a 5. 5 is the standard, right? To where you absolutely need to give your outside services people at least $5. And I will admit it, I was one of those guys that never understood. Well, if he doesn't clean my clubs, why am I giving him any money? Until you work outside services, you have no idea the amount of work that goes in to prepping your golf cart, washing it, cleaning it, getting it ready, charging it, and then all of a sudden being able to put that out there, park it in a proper position so it looks pretty, and then stash your clubs up there for you in the beginning of the round. There's a lot of things that go into it that people just don't understand.
It'd be like going out for a fucking nice steak and drinking and being like, this meal cost me $200. I'm not fucking tipping the waitress. Like, that's what these dudes are working for. I mean, half the time it's just above minimum wage.
Oh, that's the other thing.
They're getting there at 3:45 in the morning in the summertime, or they're there in the wintertime by 6:15 and it's fucking freezing cold outside. They're pulling out all the carts. They're making sure everything's clean. Coolers are iced. They can't feel their fingers. They're dressed like Eskimos, and they're making sure that when you show up from your little hungover Friday night, you got a beautiful little place. They're grabbing your bag from you. And a little segue here. If you're going to bring beer to the golf course, don't bring more than like 5 because your bag's going to be insanely heavy and you look like an even bigger cheap fuck. So that's all I'll say about that.
RGM, I will just say this, used to have us actually search people's bags.
That's bold because you don't know. Like, you might find a gun. You might find an 8-ball of cocaine. You might find a dead midget arm. You don't know what's in this guy's golf bag.
You really
don't know what kind of a night he had. So
it was exciting, though.
You could get sued for that, maybe.
No, because they're on private property. Yeah.
Pull that little midget arm out. The fuck is this?
We caught a few dudes, but instead of kicking them off, we just told them to politely put their beers back in their car.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Come on, guys. Yeah. Yeah, the best is when you're playing somewhere and you're comped and people show up and do that shit. The least you can do is throw a few bucks towards food and beverage, right? Like, at least spend your money on beer there, even if it's $6 a beer.
Spot on.
And that's all I have to say about that.
Oh, what a start to this episode on an off week too, because there is no golf this week, but there was golf this past weekend. So let's bring on our tour insider, Mr. BG himself, Brent Grant. Brent Grant, everybody. Whoa, there he is.
Look at him.
Look at him.
Got the stogie going.
Wow. Oh, I love this new camera view.
You look like the nose gunner in a B-52 right now.
Holy cow.
You know, just repping the folds of honor. You know, got my
America.
my American flag.
America.
We're in it tonight, boys. How we doing?
Oh, we're doing great.
You're a little quiet there, Brent.
Am I a little quiet?
Yeah.
You sure?
We can bump them up on our end. You're fine.
Hey, it's right next to my face hole. So.
Yeah, you're fine.
We got
We're
Jay
bumping you
Crazy
up.
back here. He's gonna
Yeah,
turn
I
you
know.
right
He's
up.
got
Feel
you.
him. I can sense it. He's locked in.
Your microphone's so much better now ever since we got you hooked up. I mean, my God. Look at you with the stogie, too.
Oh, dude.
Always. Come on, guys.
Man, fantastic stuff out of you. Buttsy with the burps, you with the cigar, me just trying to remain patient. And let's get right into the ZOZO Championship recap, which is we were very Asian this week when it came to golf. We were over in Japan for the ZOZO Championship.
That's correct.
And the winner, Nico Echevarria.
Yes, I'm not Asian.
Do you know that I actually studied how to pronunciate that?
Is it Echevarria?
That's impressive.
Echevarria.
Etcha.
Echevarria. Yeah. I had to listen to it at least 32 times.
I liked when he called his parents.
Yeah.
That little segue. They stopped because he had to go talk to sponsors. He's like, and I didn't realize he was that foreign.
He's Colombian. He's from Medellin.
He's like, hey, Nico.
Yeah.
Cry all you want, baby. That's great.
I have no idea what accent that was. It was
Sounds like
not
something off Mario
Colombian.
Hey, Luigi.
Yeah, it's a me,
I'm fresh
Mario.
off
Yeah,
half
it's
a
me, I'm Mario.
C4 and I'm a couple beers in. So, yeah.
But Nico
Late Tuesday
ends up shooting 20 under to win. This is his second career win, and he won the 2023 Puerto Rican Open. So in back-to-back years, folks, we've got a tour winner here. But this is obviously a much bigger event. It was a limited field. There was only, like 80 players around that number this week, which it was very much kind of like one of those signature series events in terms of the size of the field with no cut. And he was going up against somebody in Justin Thomas.
Oh, my God. The lip ripper.
Justin Thomas should have won that golf tournament by like 5 shots.
Ask Brent if he knows what that's like. He saw the amount of lips Justin Thomas rolled the ball over, and I know I could probably speak on Brent's behalf here. He knows that pain.
Brent, tell us about it. What's it feel like to basically hit every green, give yourself about every single birdie about 15-footer and not be able to make a thing?
Pretty close. You ever basically, I mean, like when you were 16, 17, 18, your first girlfriend, that's, almost getting it in. That's basically what that feels like. And then just the
Just
sheer
a tip.
disappointment, not even like it's, just, and then nothing, that's
Hey,
basically what that feels like.
That was my game as well. I either made everything or I missed everything. And more so, I missed everything.
Yeah. Well, it's a good thing you got a lab putter now. You make, oh wait.
You know what, though? I'll tell you what right now there, Brent. You missed it.
All right,
We
we
can't talk about this right now.
No.
But I will just say there might be a blade back in the bag.
Oh well.
And
2 seconds after our
Destroying
amazing
my body.
Our amazing simulator.
no, you know what's funny is, and I will just say this: we were filming, and I'm like, I really want to have my cool putter cover back on, which is a Michael Jordan shoe.
Absolutely.
And sure enough, I threw the blade back in for that reason, and then it was like, whoa, this feels pretty damn good. But you did say something to me on the episode before I pulled out the blade. You were like, yeah, you take it outside and cut across it. I'm like, that's never been me. So I'm like, well, if I'm doing that, my fault used to be pulling it too far back to the inside. Sure enough, it's pretty evened out right now with the
I'd
blade
say
putter.
So. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Very
hey,
squared up.
I've putted well enough and I've putted poor enough to at least be able to tell somebody that. So that's a good thing.
But
I got a career
nothing
in
against the
teaching.
lead
That's what
putter.
I do.
It'll make reappearances. I am sure.
It's a great company with
I
a
love
lot of
those
good
guys.
promise. I just wish they would be a little bit more honest with what actually happens when you take the putter in your hands. But other than that, hey,
I think I saw Fowler putting with one.
You did. You
yeah,
did. Let's go back
yep.
to Justin Thomas really quick because him and Max Grazerman
Oh,
tied for
that guy.
second at minus 19 under. Obviously, we're talking about it. JT's putter went absolutely cold. He could have won that tournament probably by 4 or 5 shots, I imagine, if he made half of his putts that he should have made. And then, sure enough, Max Grazerman.
God, he's been playing some good golf.
He's right
Yes,
there
he
the
has.
whole way. He just barely missed a birdie putt on the last to tie to go into a playoff with Nico. He played that par 5 18th really poorly. I didn't like the way he played it at all. Obviously, a poor drive set him up to where he had to lay up, and then he pulled his approach shot and then just missed the birdie putt to force the playoff. But he's been close a lot this year. Now, he's got 4 top 5s this year and 5 top 10 finishes in 2024. So my question to both of you, and I'll start with you, Brent, is he due as far as a win on tour? And when he does, do you think he's going to break out? Do you think he's that kind of talent?
Yeah.
I mean, he's very good. I've known Max a long time. We were on the Corn Ferry Tour together for a while. He's battled back from some injuries, and he knows what it's like to be at the bottom of the barrel. So the fact that he's kind of scraping the top, he's getting ready to bust out, and more power to him. Just because I'd love to see it. I think he's definitely going to be able to win.
I met
sure.
him when I met you, I think.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
He looks like Timu Rory McIlroy.
I
pretty close.
think Max Grazerman is a
Same
very
hair.
solid golfer, and I think he's due for a win. I just don't know if he's the breakout talent that some of these other guys are when they break through, like a Wyndham Clark. What do you think, Buttsy?
I think he is, man.
Wow.
I think he's learning how to play some extremely efficient golf on the PGA Tour. And I think holding that trophy is going to change some things to get to the next level for him. I think he's knocking on the door way too much not to be close enough to go over the hump, you know?
I mean, the 4 top 5s is pretty impressive.
Yeah. He's hitting the shots. He's doing it week in and week out. Like, yeah. And I think once he proves to himself that he can get it done, all bets are off.
When you say breakout talent like Wyndham Clark, do you mean like as in winning big events?
Yeah.
Like early on or
Breakout.
I mean,
So after you saw with Wyndham to where when Wyndham won the Wyndham Championship, ironically enough, he ended up, you saw the confidence just oozing, and then he rattled off another win. He ends up getting into the top 10 in terms of top 10 players in the world, wins a major, obviously LACC with the US Open. I mean, he kind of went in that path, and that's what we kind of look for are these guys that are so damn good. And then all of a sudden they have that big breakthrough moment and the confidence soars, and all of a sudden there's nothing to stop them. Kind of like a Ludwig Oberg a little bit, I feel like, but obviously not the same talent, I feel like. But I'm saying when all of a sudden a guy wins like that and starts to soar and has a ton of confidence, I just don't know if Max Grazerman is that big of a talent, if that makes sense.
He's
I mean,
a
I
sleeper
totally.
talent.
Yeah, I think that's kind of what it is, right? I mean, we got to be realistic. I mean, we talk about this every week, right? So, the thing is
Right.
what are we expecting from these guys? Are we just waiting kind of for the next big name to come out? And I think honestly, what we're going to see until 2026, anyways, is what we're going to see is a lot more guys winning. Specifically, I mean, if you think about it, I mean, Scotty won everything this year, and there was not much left for anybody else. But aside from that, it's pretty clear that when he's not playing, when Scotty's not playing, there's a plethora of different guys that are winning. All guys from the veteran category all the way to a guy like Grayson who's a rookie. So he hits it a good long way, and he's got a steady family, steady team behind him. Do I think that he's
Steady
major
Eddie.
winning potential? that's a different thing. And I
Does
don't
he
think
excel in any area?
he's a good putter. His short game is very, very, very solid. I wouldn't say he's a great driver of the golf ball, but he gets it out there long enough. And then, like I said, I mean, anything inside 160, he's usually pretty solid.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, it's a tough thing to be a major winner on the PGA Tour, and unfortunately, when you win for the first time, it's on any level, it's easier to do it. It's harder to do it the second time.
I
So,
think he's very consistent. I think that is the
very much
skill
so, yeah.
set that is going to help him differentiate himself, but I don't see him winning multiple times every single year.
Is he the next
I
Joel
don't see it.
Damon? Is he that guy?
No,
I think he's better.
I think he's better than Joel as well. And he's got a
Yeah.
better mindset than Joel. He's choked under pressure, but he's learned from it and he's gotten better. Like each time that he's lost, it's been like a better loss, I feel like.
Is he Scott Stallings then?
Stallings. The difference
Stallings
is
hung around last year like every fucking event.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been that way for I mean, Stallings is a yeah. Joel is kind of a lower big CrossFit guy. But
to
he's
be
like
a
a
big
lower
chubber.
level. He's a big boy. He's a big boy.
Looks like a linebacker.
Nice guy. Nah, he's not that big. But
His line. Have you seen a linebacker?
Yeah, no, it's not Scott Stallings.
just imagine
I was going
Buttsy
for the
about
dramatic effect
6
there,
inches
but got
taller.
shut down immediately.
I was gonna say, there it is. Just waiting for that. But yeah, no, I mean, it's tough, right? Because what we're talking about is levels of players. I mean, how many guys do you think fit in the category of an ATM, but maybe don't have the 1 to 2 to 3 win years, kind of like consistently? How many guys do you guys think that there are like that? I mean, it seems like there's more guys that are just ATMs than there are that win.
You mean just
constantly every
consistently
year.
playing well enough to
Yeah.
make a check type
Yeah.
deal?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, I think most of those guys could be breakout talents if they ever got that one notch under their belt. I feel like, and I haven't been there. I know you have. You've won before at a professional level. I mean, I watched you win on the Corn Ferry Tour, and I saw the fist pump. I mean, your arm turned into a rocked out boner. Like, I've never seen that level of excitement before.
What did you just call him? A rocked out boner?
Yeah, like dog's bone, though. I don't know what you're talking about. Fucking weirdo. And with the sound, we're going to go ahead and let that train of thought just... That train of thought is gone. So let's move on.
Moving on.
Moving on. Now, let's go through a quick leaderboard rundown here because in fourth place, we had Ricky Fowler, the return of Ricky Fowler and a lab golf putter, folks. Lab golf putter.
That was big for them.
Yeah?
Yeah, a lot of people saw that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fifth place, Kurt Kitayama.
No.
Great
Come on,
player.
Jordan.
Great player, that Kurt Kitayama. Now, T6, we've got JJ Spawn. Buttsy loves JJ Spawn.
I do. I really do.
Then you got Yuta Sagara
I don't know who that is.
from
Sugi.
Japan.
Sugi.
Didn't know that
Sugi.
either.
Right.
Couldn't tell.
It's not Sugi.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Oh, no, it is. I'm sorry. I was looking at the first name, Yuta. I'm like, that's not Sugi.
Yuta?
Yuta. Okay, and then we got Siwoo Kim, players champ, bro.
Kim.
I in the middle of saying his name, I was about to say players champ, and then it just got...
It's prayers. It's pronounced prayers, champ.
It's a players champ, bro.
A
Okay,
prayers champ,
so
bro.
also we've got Eric Cole, CT Pan. Those are all T6s, and then we got
Just
T11s.
ATMs.
At Taylor Moore was in 11th as well. Okay, Genesis
Riveting stuff.
Championship.
Oh, can I ask a question?
No.
I'm just always curious. That's fine. I'm going to ask it anyway. What do you guys think about these events? Do you feel like they're just sort of they exist and kind of if they don't exist, okay, great. How do you feel about these events as onlookers of the tour?
What do you mean?
Like, if the tournament didn't exist, would it really matter? to you.
If the bear shits in the woods, does it smell?
Tree fall in the woods,
nobody's
man. That
around.
tree really falling, you know what I mean? Like, you can't
I'm just
prove
always
it. You
curious
can't
because I
prove
mean
it, man.
it's crazy that
You
we
ain't
have
know.
these
You
events
ain't know
that
if it really fit.
really nobody watches, and yet we continue to put them on. But you know,
Oh,
I love the ZOZO. I think it's got a lot of heritage behind it. You know, it's a gorgeous golf course in China. Just kidding.
did you know China and Japan?
Tiger won there. I think, yeah. I was stoked about it. I watched almost none of it, but it's a great event.
great event. No, the ZOZO, I don't mind the ZOZO. It's just a weird placement. You know what I'm saying?
What do you
Like
mean by that?
it's a weird. So they do it, in my opinion, because of the long travel and because the top guys aren't really playing the week before or the week after, right? This season is kind of the journeyman season or the young rookies getting an opportunity to try to win when all the big names aren't playing in tournaments. And the ZOZO just kind of pops in at this really odd moment. And we don't even have a tournament this week because of it.
What is ZOZO?
It is a sponsor. So it is a
I know that.
Japanese company, I believe.
I thought it was a fruit.
Yeah.
I thought it was a Japanese fruit.
We're just super informed on this podcast, ladies and gentlemen.
ZOZO, no, ZOZO for sure is a sponsor. Like it's a company in Japan.
But what do they do?
I don't know. We're moving into the Genesis. We know what what Genesis is, right? With the it's Hyundai's
First book of the Bible.
Oh boy.
Sorry, you can.
This one took place in South Korea. Like I said, this was a very Asian weekend in professional golf. I don't know how I'm not just dying laughing right now. So we've got Ben On, who was the winner of the Genesis Championship.
Woo-hoo!
Good old Ben On. And he finished at 17 under, a playoff win over none other than fellow South Korean Tom Kim. Tom Kim. Now we'll get into his antics in a minute.
Oh,
He
God,
lips
what did he do
out.
now?
He lips out on the 18th hole in regulation for the win. Okay, that's not the bad part. He then struggles on that same hole, the 18th hole in the playoff, and ends up making a bogey and just handing the victory over to Ben On. So Tom Kim really lost this golf tournament, in my opinion. However, Tom Kim had himself a little bit of a temper tantrum, and just depending
Weird.
on which source you're going off of, media sources are saying that he threw a temper tantrum and ripped a locker room door.
Oh, I read
off.
all about this.
Then Tom Kim, if you listen to his camp, came out with a statement that said, no, he did not have a temper tantrum. The door was stuck and they had to rip it off in order to get his stuff out. And so he offered to pay DP World Tour and the course for any damages and so forth. So I ask you, Buttsy, to begin with, what do you think really happened in that locker room?
I'm going to tell you what
Paint the
happened.
picture for us.
Yeah,
Paint the picture.
here's what happened.
Come on.
You ever see one of those karate tournaments where the dude,
Like Karate Kid?
where the dude? No, I'm talking
Cobra Kai?
like a skills challenge where the sensei holds out one of those boards like this.
Oh, and you got to punch through it.
No, I think Tom Kim just fucking headbutted right through it. I think he fucking headbutted his locker right in half.
Full on send right into the
Full
right into the
send.
forehead.
It was
Wow.
locked. We had no choice.
Oh
And
dang.
then he had a flashback of the President's Cup. They didn't give him that putt. He was like, ah!
Oh. That's clip it.
I think
Clip it.
that's exactly what happened.
Sorry, we're getting a couple sodas going here.
So Tom Kim, yeah. And the thing is, with Tom Kim, the question that I have for you, Brent, does he have a maturity problem right now?
Tom Kim, a bitch. Tom Bitch.
Have a maturity problem.
New name.
Like, think about it. When he came out onto the tour, he was very well spoken. He was very like, it wasn't this kind of like, he didn't have an attitude behind him. He was kind of funny. Everybody loved him. He was like sweethearted. Like, everybody loved this guy, right? The media just ate him up because they're like, oh, this kid's the sweetest kid. Now we're starting to see some of these things take place after the President's Cup, after whining and literally ratting out the U.S. team for swearing at him and stuff like that. we're starting to see the real side to Tom Kim. And the big question is he maturing in front of our eyes? Like, is he learning through the immaturity?
I mean, he's kind of regressed based on what you just said, but I think Tom Kim is a great product of somebody that has taken the pampering and the kind of gold spoon that he's been given, and in some cases earned. Obviously, he's won multiple times and he's a great player, but it's pretty clear that he is very immature. But at the same time, he's also been pampered drastically. So when he doesn't get his way, he's going to show that emotion. And I think that a lot of the other guys have become so PC and are somewhat robotic that they never even get themselves in a situation where they're going to show that kind of emotion. Tom Kim is 22 years old.
Wouldn't it just be cooler if you just didn't even leave anything to thought, though, and just say, yeah, I got fucking pissed. I really feel bad about it. I fucking headbutted through the locker.
Yeah, but nobody.
I mean,
I don't
it was a fucked up thing. I
disagree,
apologize. But I'm that hard.
Yeah.
I think it's tough
how many guys? Sorry, Matt. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say it's got to be tough to be his age and going through some of this to where I think you were right, Brent. I think you hit the nail on the head that he's been kind of given the golden spoon by the PGA Tour, by the media, by everybody. And it can make you a little bit entitled, and it can make you certainly feel like, oh, I can do anything I want to do, and kind of makes you kind of into a little bit of a spoiled brat in some ways. But I do think that he is going through that immaturity right in front of our eyes as a very young kid. And it's just something that a lot of guys aren't necessarily used to. And I don't know if his team has really prepped him in order to be ready for this, but we're kind of seeing it right in very front of us. And we've seen it with celebrities like child actors and so forth that start acting out and everything. And it's like, he didn't get his way. He didn't win the golf tournament the way that he wanted to. And all of a sudden he goes in and breaks a locker room door.
Well, look what happened to Macaulay Culkin after Home Alone. You know?
Macaulay Culkin.
Michael Jackson.
Well, I mean, you look at all these kids that had to grow up in front of the media, and it doesn't turn out well often.
Yeah, I mean, I fully agree with you. I mean, I think part of the problem here is that it not only sets a poor example, but kind of like what we were talking about a couple of weeks ago with regards to the standards that we hold these guys to. The pure and simple point is that he's 22, 23 years old. He's a multimillionaire. He's been virtually given everything in his entire life anyways, which is why he's able to do what he does. And now he's at a point where he may or may not believe that he should be held accountable. And
it's a lot of responsibility
what are you
to
gonna
be
do?
that rich and that young and in the
No,
limelight.
boo fucking who.
It's so much responsibility.
Boo hoo.
I mean, imagine.
Oh, I couldn't imagine if I was.
I bet nobody knows who the fuck Tom Kim is, though.
I
When
would
he
have been
goes
a
to the grocery
disaster.
store, nobody knows who that is.
Yeah.
You think?
Oh, of course not.
You might. Would
Nobody
you
outside of
recognize
golf.
Tom Kim in street clothes if he was buying bacon?
I would, but I'm a diehard
You would?
golf fan, so it's like,
I think I'd be like, that guy kind of, I don't know.
like I cover the damn
Depends
sport.
where
Of
you're
course, I'm going to know what Tom Kim looks like in person.
Are you in San Francisco in Koreatown or like
No.
Good old
out in the middle of
K-Town.
the street in Omaha, Nebraska?
I do love a good karaoke in a K-Town for sure.
Cause suicide is painless. It brings home Mary Chain.
Was that Carmen San Diego?
If I please.
This
That
dead air,
was
guys.
money right there. I don't know if you understood, Brent, what you just witnessed. That was just greatness right there.
I watched you both just bobbing back and forth.
Thank you.
I'm kind of distracted, honestly. I'm distracted by the rosy cheeks that I haven't seen in quite some time. Butsy's had a beard for so long that, I just haven't seen his cheeks, and now he looks like a young man, young bull.
I couldn't take it all off. My jaw was non-existent. I was like, fuck, I need to start breathing through my nose more, according to Joe Rogan.
Let's move it past good old Tom
Soft-ass
Kim.
jaw.
Yeah, let's do the serious
Starts with
stuff.
an L.
I'm going to skip the leaderboard rundown since I don't recognize a single fucking name on this entire list. We got Ricardo Gouveia, Antoine Rosner, who is French, Guido Migilozzi, which is
Guido.
Italian.
His name is Guido.
Guido. Ivan Quintero, which is Spanish. You got Casey Harvis, which is good old Russian. We've got Francesco Laporta, which is Italian.
So we're going over this now. Okay.
Well, I'm just saying the names. The only one that I actually know is Nikolai Hojgaard, who finished in the top 10 yet again.
Showing signs.
Dude, Nikolai Hojgaard
Is he that next breakout player?
Him and his brother.
No.
They're twin brothers, dude.
Nope.
Dude, they're good.
Identical
Doesn't matter.
twins?
Brent, I'm going to call you out on this one because these guys can play some
Ain't that
golf. Nikolai and Rasmus, those guys can play.
Are we going to see Brent contending at the ZOZO next year?
We certainly hope so. We hope he gets into the top 5 at Q
If he
School.
gets in there, I'm flying to Japan.
Me too. We're going to be there.
Me too.
Oh,
And
dude.
we will wear traditional attire.
Absolutely. I'll jump in
No
the lake
jeans.
and fucking row down that stream on a chopstick, right? While you're
Yeah.
pumping.
Man, that would be great.
That would be fantastic.
We're rooting for you, Brent. We're
More dead
rooting
air.
for you. Okay.
Boys.
That's why I wore the sunglasses, because I can just kind of like
Yeah,
close
lean
my eyes
back,
and kinda
relax,
go to sleep for a second.
sleep like Ray Charles. Here we go.
Ray, watch out.
Swannies Style Segment, everybody. We're moving right in. This is what we're going to do is this is our break for our sponsor, Swannies Golf.
3.
Now, a quick word from our sponsor. Swannies is here with a fresh take. Performance-based materials are a given these days. But if you're looking for the stretchiest and most lightweight pieces that deliver a look that says, I'm here for a good time, take a walk on the Swannies side. With fabric sourced from recycled plastics and designs sourced from our very own weekend warriors, Swannies is looking out for both our planet and those that need a little style to boost their drive another 15 yards. Premium looks from top to bottom at swannies.co. All right, the Swannies Style Segment, everybody. And this one is going to go off of what clothing for golf do you prefer? Are you an athletic fabric guy or more premium fabrics like cotton, cashmere, etc.? Buttsy, we'll start with you.
Everything I do is athletics. So I'd have to go with that. I have to go with that.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
Everything. Dude, we got to quote this.
Everything okay over there?
Everything I do is athletic.
It is.
Clip it.
The way I
Somebody clip
move,
it.
my
Oh my
gait, how I walk.
I'm
Oh,
sorry.
boy.
The reactions from other people are what are making me laugh. I'm not laughing
Oh.
at your comment, Buttsy. I am laughing at everybody else's reaction to your comment.
I don't know why it's funny.
I think that is the quote of the century right there.
Stand on the other side
Everything
of a
I
fucking
do
ping
is
pong table.
athletic.
Watch what happens.
Man, that's good.
Sorry.
So, is
Super
there some
serious
sort of a
podcast.
fucking joke here? This is
No.
not a joke.
I haven't laughed this hard since I was a little girl.
Don't make me, dude.
God.
I'll do it. Woo. I got this at
Show him
Just for
guns,
Men,
boy.
dude.
Brent, what about you?
Oh, sorry. I didn't even feel like he answered the question. Shit. I mean, are we talking about tops, pants, shorts,
Everything.
cashmere shorts?
Brent
don't
shops
sound
at the
that
fucking
appealing.
Disney store.
I wear
dude.
cashmere underwear.
You couldn't have said that with a straight face if you tried. Oh man, I wear goat leather underwear, but
That's got to be rough. Bah! Bah!
That'll do,
oh
pig.
man, I'll do pig.
That's what
I'll
my
do.
mom used to say
Yeah,
to
I
me.
mean athletic fabric for sure. I like to be feel
Watching
like
me
I'm an
perform
athlete, even
athletic
though I'm not.
feats.
Wow, so athletic for both of you. I'm very surprised by this. Maybe I'm just
I don't know why
the
you're surprised.
maybe I'm just the bougie New Yorker that loves a cashmere sweater. I actually really like the higher end lines of like cotton polos and stuff like that, which the new Black Swan collection by Swannies has a brand new modal thread that I am absolutely going to be in love with.
There's nothing better than a nice fitting cashmere hoodie. There's nothing better, I don't think, on like a 60, 65 degree day. You know, bye, Buttsy. Have a nice night, buddy.
Where's the poor guy going?
Oh, God, here we go. Oh, no.
Hang on.
Oh, my God.
Oh, who?
There he is.
Who would have thought that this was
Look at how
under
big
there?
Come
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Holy shit. Look at the size
that
of those
yourself?
arms. They're as big as my
Yeah,
calves.
0% body fat.
Or my thighs, I
Look at
should
the
say.
veins.
Do a little dance for us. Here we go.
Bring that in, baby. Come on. Get it.
You gotta kiss them, dude. Treat them right, though, bro.
You're right, baby.
Oh
Let's
my
go.
God. What
Did
an
you do that yourself,
absolute.
Buttsy?
No, John Daly did it for him.
Something tells me I don't think John Daly would be able to fit in that shirt.
You guys okay? Never seen anything like this before? Or what?
Do you shave your upper arms?
No, that's. The shirts
That's
are
just
so
pure
tight they
muscle
don't
mass.
allow hair to grow.
I just looked over and I see like there's a line to where there's hair. Oh dear God.
Look at
That's-
that, dude.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, that's that baseball you lost when you were a kid.
Have you ever shaved your armpits? I guess that's the next question of the Swannies Style segment.
Oh, God, no.
Yeah, I can tell. Brent, how about you? You ever shaved the armpits?
Absolutely not.
Oh wow.
Absolutely not.
Wow. Okay, that's the end of that
Dead air, boys.
conversation.
Moving on.
Okay, moving on. That was our Swannies Style segment, everybody. And thank God for Buttsy got a little warm in here. He needed to unload.
You challenged my athleticism.
You bring it out.
My testosterone levels shot through the roof, and the jacket no longer fit. So
There is kind of a smell now coming,
Yeah.
which is very
yeah.
nature-like.
yeah, it smells like deer antler
Yeah.
spray, huh?
The crickets are
Come on,
chirping.
VJ.
Oh man. Okay. Wow. I don't know how we move from that into the Player Advisory Council's proposed changes for the 2026 PGA Tour season, and here we go. The first, so there's a couple main points out of this entire thing. I went through it today, read through the entire proposal by PAC, and the first part is, and I'm just going to label it as this: shrinking the game. They are looking to shrink the PGA Tour. Okay. Now, the best part of this is that they had to tie it to something, right? They just can't come out and say, hey, we're going to shrink down the PGA Tour from 125 guys down to 100. We're going to shrink the size of fields. Do you know what they blamed it on, Buttsy?
I have no idea. What's the score?
Is that final?
I can't see that far.
Is that final?
Who's up?
6-4 New York.
6-4. Come on, baby. Come on.
Are the Dodgers up 2 games?
They're up 3.
3.
They
Up
could have.
3 games.
Tonight
They
was
could have
real
sweep
fast.
tonight.
Anthony Rizzo's up.
All right, beautiful.
Is it in New York? Is it in New York?
It is in New York.
Well, of course, they lose in New York. It goes back to LA. They win in LA. I mean, come on.
Well, no,
That happens every year.
no, they've got one more game in New York tomorrow.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, they'll lose that one and then they'll win in New York.
I hope not.
Or win in LA. Who gives a shit?
Listen, this could be the greatest comeback in sports history. The first time a World Series has ever been won after a team being down 3-0.
It would be a
That's not
first.
true.
It would be a
That's the
first.
second time. The
No,
second time.
it would be the first time in the World Series. The
Second
first time. No, it would be the first time. Brent, why are you saying this second time?
Cleveland Indians did it a few years ago.
Not from 3-0.
Guardians, dude.
No.
Can't say
3-0.
that.
No, 3-1.
So it'll be 3-1 after this. What are we talking about here?
No, I'm telling you, they didn't get to 3-0. They had a win in there.
there's 2 and then
Yeah.
oh, okay.
So, all right. Anyways, moving on. Shrinking the game. We are heading back to the Player Advisory Council's proposed changes. It is due to concerns about daylight that tournament rounds cannot be finished because there have been tournaments to which they have had to delay until the next day. So they are proposing smaller tournament sizes. They want the max field size to go down from 156 to 144 players. And then the majority of the other tournaments to go down from are down to 132 player fields or 120 player fields. Now, guess what? They're also not going to increase the size of signature series events and the size of those fields.
Why did they say?
Because so the rationale behind them not increasing is because they feel like the fans would get confused. I don't understand
Just
it.
amazing. What great work by such amazingly talented thinkers. Just spot on, guys. Way to go. Wait.
It was broken. They had to fix it. You know?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Because of Liv, because it's Trump and all that.
Well, the other sad thing about all of this, which Ryan French is going to have a terrible time with, he's already been tweeting about it quite a bit.
Dress.
Say goodbye to Monday qualifiers.
Bitch.
So, Buttsy, unfortunately, your dream of Monday qualifying for the Waste Management Phoenix Open will be dead.
I'm just going to go play.
Yeah.
Sponsors exemption.
Gone.
Fuck.
Gone. All of that gone. You can say goodbye to the majority because any of the outside of a field size of 144, which is going to be the new max, if this ends up going through and gets voted through, 144 would be the only times that they would have a Monday qualifier, which is like a handful of events.
So fucking stupid. What happened to like
7,
giving
I
people a
think.
chance?
Well, it ain't about that, Buttsy. This is about making sure that they make a better product, right? Because
A better
that's what the whole deal is about. I mean, remember, right? They had such a poor product, 3 years ago before Liv came on that they needed to make sure they improved the product. So watching the same guys week in and week out, that's the only way the tour fan is going to be able to connect.
You're not being
with the
facetious,
tour.
are you? I didn't.
Just a wee bit.
Just a hair nut.
No, I mean, come on, guys. I mean,
Did you say
what are we
hair
talking
nut?
about here?
Not hair.
Oh,
Right there.
Oh, we got Brian Schoen, or is it Shane? Is it like the Giants GM, your last name? The tour is looking to offload its interesting in the new venture to PIF, but apparently not controlling interest. In addition, PIF is looking to purchase the DP World Tour and wait for it, offer Rory $1 gazillion probably. So
Hold on. Hey, listen to Space's event tonight.
are we gonna look back on this in 20 years and just be like
Less
20,
than that.
21 to 24 was like the stupidest run in pro golf history?
well, what's funny about this is that how many
We're already
guys
thinking
are
that.
really going to come back onto the PGA Tour from PIF, or from LIV, I should say.
I mean,
Probably like 25 guys.
yeah. Think about if that. I mean, think
Well-
about how many guys gave up their membership, weren't tour winners to begin with, lost a bunch of world ranking. I mean, you got to think that there's few guys that don't even want to come back. I mean, but we talk about this every week. The deal has to get done for that to happen.
Yeah, but do
So
you
there's not-
think this is
no.
the prep in order to prepare to get ready
No.
to bringing those guys back in? Because top 25, or it will no longer be the top 125 guys, according to the proposal, that will end up having PGA Tour cards the next year. It goes down to 100. So losing 25 guys, I could see this as, okay, those 25 slots are going to come back as soon as we make the deal with PIF and easily fit these guys right back into the fold. But the limited number in terms of the amount of players that are going to be in the field is the other part to it.
I don't think so. I don't think that this has anything to do with the PIF for the Live Tour at all. I think
Well,
this
I
has
just
to
had to
do with-
pose a question.
Well, I know. I'm answering.
Very
I'm answering-
argumentative stance there, Brent.
Well,
Guys just trying to
you
Yeah,
have
just
your
com-
soapbox
just coming at
and
us.
and I have mine. But this is the type of stuff that gets me spun up. You guys know that. So, but
Do we have a
at the
spin
end of
up
the day,
sound?
I don't think so.
No,
We're gonna need
Not
or a
yet.
boing.
That and goat sound. No,
not bad.
that's
Not bad.
that's not bad. Yeah, I mean, you could stop the record, but no, I mean, think about it, right? That you've got a group of guys at the board that all want limited field. They all want to be more secured in what they want to do, and at the end of the day, the people that put in $3 billion want to see where that's going, and so you're going to see sponsors like the Shriners, by the way, just ended their contract, which puts the PGA Tour even further away from what Mr. Palmer wanted it to be. And the bottom line is this has nothing to do with the PIF. This is all to do with making sure
It smells.
the 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 group of players stay where they want to stay. I mean, if you guys saw the conditional status now, you got a bunch of guys that are mainstream players right now, and they're not going to be on the PGA Tour come 2026. I mean, they're just not. So it's pretty sad. I think it's the beginning of the end, unfortunately. But that's
Well, it might be the beginning of the end, but it might be the fact that they're looking for this to become more mainstream. So if I'm playing devil's advocate, right, and this is Tiger and Rory apparently making the decisions and so forth, and really pushing for this to be a smaller group on the PGA Tour of just the absolute top talent where names matter, right? Because that was the whole thing with LIV. They took names, and that was the big thing that the PGA Tour was missing for a little bit. And I just feel like this is part of that shrinking the professional game so that everybody you're watching,
Yeah, but how do you become a
casual
name?
fan, as a casual fan, right? But they're trying to protect the membership of the guys who are playing in the top, and they don't want outsiders to become a part of this. They want you to have to go and work really hard in order to get onto the PGA Tour.
even harder than you already have to work.
Exactly. I mean, it's already, I mean, you're seeing it firsthand, Brent, as to how difficult it can
Seen every
be.
side of it.
You didn't have a terrible year on the PGA Tour, and yet you had to go back and play the Corn Ferry Tour. And it's like, geez, man, like, what do you have to do to be consistently up there? It's almost like you have to have a surge, really win like a big tournament, and then all of a sudden you kind of hang around within that top 100. But you have to obviously have that big breakthrough moment in order to do that. It's going to limit the players on a year-to-year basis, I feel like.
If Brent made 5% more putts last year, we wouldn't even be having this conversation.
That's true.
Let's fucking be real.
Oh, for sure.
The man's is there. He'd be in that conversation. Yeah.
But so that's kind of the point, right? Is
I
that
synced
if we talk about long-term decisions and taking care of the membership and making it a better tour and all that other stuff, then that it's just, you can't. I've thought about it. I've tried to steel man it. I've tried to, like you said, play devil's advocate, and it just seems like a group of guys are getting together, being like, you know what, we got all this money, and you know what, we're going to keep it for ourselves, and we've got maybe 5, 6, 7 years left on the ride here, and we're going to ride it, and then you know what, after that, it's not our problem. And
I think it has to deal with the longevity of how much money is being paid out in these events in order to try to compete and keep players on the PGA Tour rather than having them leave for LIV. And listen, you can run out of money pretty quickly. The PGA Tour doesn't have endless pockets like PIF does. So
I agree. But
that has to be part of it.
You really think that they still view LIV as a contestant? Like we just had a whole conversation last week how these teams are going to be individually owned and franchised, and they're going to be responsible for paying. And the death, not to disagree with you, but the death of those huge contracts is probably here. Do you think the tour still looks at that? Like, we got to worry about LIV?
Potentially, because who knows if they're going to expand this year and add another team like they did last year with John Rahm's team.
True.
We don't know. That's the unknown right now. As we head into the winter season, is LIV or PIF going to go out and sign another big name and create another franchise?
Kind of validates it. Kind of validates the product a little bit then, right?
Yeah.
If that's why they're doing what they're doing.
I think everybody's pretty much caught on to the fact that at this point it's about the money. And a lot of golfers that watch the PGA Tour have never watched it because they're making a lot of money out there, and it has nothing to do with that. And part of what made the PGA Tour, the great land of opportunity that it was up until recently, was that a guy like Jake Knapp could struggle for a long time and then make it out there and then win. And he did it the right way the whole way through. He didn't jump through, he wasn't given a bunch of exemptions and all this other stuff. He worked his way. He was a bouncer at a club, and now he's a winner inside the top.
He bounced
75
people
in the world.
Yeah, he did bounce
He's a
him.
big boy.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I think that the struggle is going to be in 2 to 3 years when they realize that not every kid coming out of college is a Tiger Woods and
Is a bouncer.
yeah, there you go.
The
So,
other
I mean,
side to this too is that the Corn Ferry Tour is going to go down to 20 players are going to receive PGA Tour cards instead of the, what was it, 30 or 35? 30.
And then 5. So they're going to take the 5 in ties from Q School and make it 5. They're going to leave, by the way, they're not going to touch the DP World Tour.
Correct.
'cause we
That's
love
going to be
those
top
guys.
10.
And here's what's crazy. So out of like, I don't know, 40 some odd events that were quote unquote full field events, they're going to take them down by anywhere from 11 to 24 spots. So for example, at the Sony this year, right before any of these changes, these guys coming out of Q School, the 30 guys coming out of the Corn Ferry Tour, and the 10 guys coming out of DP World Tour, they got through 18 of those guys at the Sony Open. 18 of them. And by the way, in 2026, they're not getting any starts. So they're going to get one start in the first probably 6 or 7 events. And because they're changing all the rest of the season as well, there's no, well, they'll pick it up in the season in the oh, well, they'll pick it up in the fall. Oh, well, they'll eventually get there. It's like there's not going to be enough turnover to make the case for 95% of the guys that are at the top right now. Scotty Scheffler may not have ever existed if, I mean, think about it that way, but who knows? I don't know. You're going to get me all hot and bothered over here. I might have to show the guns out here in a second.
What does that mean? What are you going to do?
Yeah, Q School is going to be capped at 5. You got the DP World Tour at 10, and the Corn Ferry will be down to 20. The other tough thing is when you do get your card through that, how many tournaments are you actually going to be able to get into?
Yep.
And that's the whole other side to it, which I learned through Harrison Endicott and David Geese, his caddy at the time, that they couldn't get into the majority of the first quarter of the season. They barely got into a secondary event. And that was somebody who won Q School. So it's just very difficult. It just seems very challenging to get your card and keep your card.
Yeah.
Certainly, but that's the point, right? And that's where, as a tour player, this is where we have these conversations with any other tour player for that matter. And it just comes down to the fact that there are 6 guys that have complete power, and there's nobody that can challenge them. And there's no corporate guy that's looking long term down the road and saying
there has to be.
How long, Patrick? How long are you going to
I'm
last
talking
for?
about
No,
millions
there
and
aren't.
millions
Think
and
about
millions of dollars. Like these guys aren't sitting in a room and 5 guys are like, "This is what we're going to do." There's
That's
definitely
exactly what they're doing.
You're a businessman. There's absolutely somebody that's doing projections and seeing 5 years, 10 years down the road.
They're not though.
I just
They're not.
that
Think about what they did with the
it's too big of
elevated
an
events.
organization to leave it up to we're
Oh, you
saying
would
it's
think.
so mundanely it's 6 guys that are running this shit.
It's
Well, I
just
don't think
funny.
so.
Hang on. It's funny how every other major sports league has had expansions, right?
Yeah.
We have never seen it to where they've been restricted and all of a sudden we're taking away teams, we're taking away players. We want less. That is what's happening right now with the PGA Tour.
7-4.
7-4. Yankees, let's go. Let's go. We got, hopefully that's the end of the game. I'm absolutely still terrified about it.
Let's play a little game. I mean, well, what about the
I love
elevated
games.
events?
Play a game.
I love
was,
playing games.
What about the elevated events? Were they great for the year this year?
I think it was good for
viewership
us.
Because you got shit to talk about.
It gave us stuff to talk about, and the media is part of the overall fan experience. And I feel like, the Signature Series events, I'm not for the betterment of the game. I'm not for them, but I do think it essentially makes it a little bit easier for fans to get into big tournaments.
That's what I was just gonna say.
But even though they had
the
a
golf
much
fan knows
smaller
that
view.
they're watching something bigger, and they should pay attention to it because this is going to have more good players in it.
The
Pretty
numbers would
simple
disagree,
concept.
though.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
numbers would disagree, though. The viewership was down to a quarter of what it normally would be.
Maybe initially, for sure.
Well,
but
for the whole year.
long
the whole
term,
year
I'm
it
talking
was.
about like 5 years from
I
now.
think the
once
fans
that
are fed up.
messaging- Yeah.
I
Like,
think everybody's fed up with this.
That's the biggest thing. And I just think it is a little bit short-sighted to all of a sudden shrink the tour. I think that is short-sighted.
We should start a par 3 league at night.
Done. I'm in.
It's a joke.
So
I mean, think about it, guys. I mean,
hang
what-
on.
from your- yes, go ahead.
Hang on for 1 sec, because you just reminded me of what the cover for this episode was, which is night golf. Why in the world? So they blame daylight for the issue behind why they can't have this number of players in a tournament. Why in the world, with all the money that's being made by like the PGA Tour, for instance, and granted, LIV is probably going to take this idea and they're probably going to run with it. Why not have portable lights out there and light up an entire golf course like the Waste Management Phoenix Open and have it be at night for the majority of the round? That would be sick. People would get so
everybody's gonna
behind
play
that.
9 holes at night or something. I don't know, something like that. It would have to be fair.
Of course.
Yeah, you have to have everybody with the same amount of time under the light because it's a totally different.
Well,
dynamic.
Thursday you're playing in the day, and on Friday you're playing
Friday's
at
the
night.
night game.
Yeah,
Yeah, I like that. Like baseball.
yeah.
What the fuck's the difference? Maybe the infrastructure.
I mean, well, think about it. You can buy portable lights and put them all along the fairways, and especially at a golf course like the Waste Management Phoenix Open, there's nowhere to go outside of the main areas of fairway and some desert.
There's plenty of room at a course like that
Yeah.
to light it. Other venues,
It's like, let's
Maybe
get
not so
smarter
much.
instead of just thinking, oh, let's shrink the game.
Well, I mean, I think you're spot on, but I mean, this system that they've had has worked for decades.
it's 32 degrees.
Exactly. Super cold at night. But it's worked for years. I mean, it's not going to keep putting. Yeah, that's very true, Brian. Totally agree. But it's just it's one of those things where this system has worked for decades, and this is something that only a few players.
I got to make a
want.
urine.
Okay, bye. All right, now on to the real show.
He'll be right back.
Be right back. Don't
So-
worry about me. I'll be back.
Get out of the way. It's going to take a while, but he'll get through it.
Dog's not out here, is it?
And he's gone. But no, I mean, think about it, Matt. I mean, Matt? What's your perspective? I mean, you've been covering the sport for a long time. You were a professional. You obviously have been around enough tour veterans. What about this last 2 years has been so stressful for the PGA Tour, where they feel like they've got to make all these changes and have no explanation for it? By the way, Billy Horschel went with Ryan French.
Yeah.
Could not answer a question.
No.
Couldn't answer a question. He was incapable of saying how this is actually better for the tour. He's incapable of doing it.
That's
That's
because
a top player.
they're trying to tie it to some type of data. And the one thing that I will say is it's very transparent as to what is going on here. This is not for the betterment of the overall tour. This is to shrink the tour down so that the money can stay in more guys' pockets that are going to be in that top 100.
Thank you, Trot.
So,
So what would that look like if they were transparent? I mean, because obviously we know in today's world that's virtually impossible for any corporate structure to be that way. But what if they just came out and said, well, you know what? We looked at the data and we looked at the complaints of a lot of the players, by the way, me being one of them, that play a lot of rounds at night. What can we do about this? Well, we kind of can't really shrink the field sizes too much because we have a lot of legitimate players that have come out of the Korn Ferry Tour category and the DP World category that have won, and we love to talk about how great that is. But then we're going to turn right around and say, well, you know what? It wasn't that great to begin with, so fuck them. Like
it's a
I just
tough
don't
stance,
understand.
man. And that's why this has gained so much media attention, especially, I mean, it's got an entire segment on our show because of the standpoint that this is a very very non-transparent like way of going about it to try to like say, hey, we have data that shows that in a couple events, daylight was an issue. Okay. Who's to say that daylight is not going to be an issue anymore? Right. With
I agree.
the same, and they're slowing up the pace of play. They're going to allow more slower play within this process as well. It just seems to me like,
Because that was never an
it's
issue, right?
I mean, I hate to go down this path, but I'm going to say it's like the old boys club. It's like, oh, you know what? We're going to take care of each other. And
that's what's
as
happening
long
now.
as we do that, we're going to be just fine. We need innovation.
Is that so
we need
bad to say? I
innovation
don't
around the PGA Tour. We need innovation. We don't need shrinking of the game. There's so many great talents and new guys that have their shining moment all of a sudden after they've struggled for years. Like,
That's true.
Would Wyndham Clark have been able to break through the way that he did in the current setup and system? Probably not. Like, he wouldn't have been able to hang around. And is he going to be a guy that's just going to go play the Corn Ferry Tour every single year and potentially lose money? That's where this whole entire thing is really skewed. If the Corn Ferry Tour was a better product because they actually put money into it and they actually spent time, I could see this working out to where you've got a restricted group and there's ways to get into it and so forth. But that's not there. Like, they don't have the infrastructure that's there in order to move from the Corn Ferry Tour into the PGA Tour and be successful. In
So
my
Matt,
opinion.
as a successful business person, the person who's built and sold businesses, do you believe that this product that they're talking about trying to sell to these, multinational, multi-billion-dollar companies that they love to talk about, do you think that they're going to continue to step up and be like, yeah, you know what, even though it's the same guys year in and year out, and we don't really get any money back from this, but we're going to still continue to put money into this? Do you really think that that's going to happen? I mean, what would you do if you were the CEO of whatever and had billions of dollars?
There's still a way to get on tour, right?
There's still pathways, but it's a lot more
And you gotta-
difficult to stay.
I'm going back
have
to
be
college.
you have to be exceptional.
You do have to be exceptional.
You got to come out
And
hot.
How are they not,
you can't progress into it. You have to come out, like, you have to have a hell of a year on the Corn Ferry Tour, and then you've got to come directly into the PGA Tour and basically win an event.
So this is what I'm saying. So, like, we don't know yet. Like, 5 years from now, that may work. You might end up with extremely strong fields in golf.
Listen, I'll tell you what the PGA Tour should be doing instead. Instead of shrinking the game, they should be promoting the shit out of every single tour member that they have. 125 players are getting promoted so that you know the names of all of these players rather than only knowing a dozen guys.
That's true.
But
They do a
again,
terrible
that's
job
the
with
point.
promoting of golfers.
So let's just say they promoted
that's the point.
like a little more depth of the field, right? Like the top 50, even if you knew who the top 50 were, that's in line with where they're going. They can work on promoting the product better, but like, you don't need to know who 150 guys are. Like, I
Yeah,
don't
but
know.
for years, the tour was capable of doing it, and they did it. I mean, it's really up until Jay Monahan took over that the who's the next Tiger Woods was the entire focus.
And I'm
Problem
not
is that none of
disagreeing
them are.
with you guys. I'm in the same school of thought. I'm just saying, look at it from the other side for a second, and at least do the what if of, okay, like a few years from now, is there a chance that what they're doing does produce much deeper and much stronger fields?
Hey, leave that one up there.
I'll be shorter fields. Like,
No,
you're cutting the fat off, basically. I
There is
understand
no
what they're
fat.
trying to do. There is fat, though. There is. There's
No, there
guys that, first off, like, I think back in the day, you used to be able to go to Q school and get right on the PGA Tour. Can you still do that?
no.
Yeah, you
So
can
then they
now.
thought,
You
oh.
got 5 slots now.
So okay.
There used to be more, though, if I'm not mistaken.
5 slots, but
Yeah.
so all right. So let's send them on to this other tour. Let's go to AAA baseball and let's play there, and that way you're going to be ready and you'll be able to meet the demand of the PGA Tour. And that's not
if
working.
That's if they.
But it's not
if
working.
they invest in that tour, though. It is working.
Well, what do you mean invest? It's not working though. If it was, then you'd have more names shining quicker. Like, because that's
Jake Knapp, Eric Cole, Max Gracerman.
And under the new
Justin
rules,
Thomas,
those
Scotty
they would still
Scheffler.
exist. They would still exist. Those guys would still have been shiners.
No, because they're not getting into events.
Yeah, they would. They would be
No, they're not getting in.
the stuff
the
that they would.
120 man field, they don't get in.
But the stuff that they did play in, they would have excelled at regardless.
Not
So-
necessarily. You
I
got.
don't think
I
so.
mean, this is one of my
Well, tell me
arguments that
how.
I've had with the PGA Tour is that you're not going to have a guy in his mid 30s finally figure it out because the system doesn't allow it. Like you have
Because
to
you don't have enough time.
Yeah, you don't have enough time. You don't have a system that's going to allow you to grow as a professional golfer. And like, there's guys that peak that really kind of hit their stride in their mid 30s.
Let's just say you're right about that, but that's not as entertaining as a guy that's 25 that excelled way ahead of when that guy hit his peak. So that guy gets the bump up. He's younger, he's more marketable, and he's going to play better for longer.
Yeah, Brian Shane actually has a good point here. He's saying, so are we rather have more players in because fans want to hear the stories of the grinders versus the stars? And obviously the stars are going to take the cake when it comes to fan interest. But there is a fan base that loves the stories of the guys that can break through. And I really feel like
Sure.
shows like this, who we talk about guys that potentially could break through and so forth. It's like, man, having that promotion around those guys and then they do break through, that's massive for somebody.
Sure. It used to have those stories like Jason Gore. Remember that name?
Yeah.
Remember when Gore came
course.
out? But again, look, that's a perfect example, actually. Guy used to drive a Budweiser truck, got on tour, was potent, but because of his age, he had 2 years of potency and then he's gone.
Rich Beam
Okay, another one. But you have
was selling cell phones
But here's the thought, right?
that wins the PGA Championship.
Okay, we're going to let you in, but your peak is going to be a couple years. We want guys that are going to have a 10-year peak, and we can actually like put some money behind it. Now,
But I guess
they're
guess
not
my
putting
question
money
is,
behind it. I don't know. I'm just trying to think
No,
about
they're
all
not.
the what ifs.
So I guess there's three things, right? So one, was there a problem with the product, or was it a problem with how they promoted it? That's the first question. Second,
It's a problem with how they promoted it for sure.
Okay, so I think we can all agree that was probably pretty poorly promoted. The second question is how long are the top 100 guys really going to last, and what kind of turnover are we going to see? Are we going to see, based on the field sizes the majority of the tournaments are going to be 120 man fields, which means 10 of the 20 guys on the Corn Ferry Tour get in, the other 10 just don't, and they're just not playing.
But that's
which
what
means
I'm
that they
saying.
don't-
You're going to have turnover, but the replacement for that turnover,
very small.
it's small, but I think the upside is the longevity of who the replacements are going to be. Yes, you are going to cut out the hero story of a 35-year-old, like the movie Rudy, that breaks through after years of grinding and going to Q school 25 fucking times. That's this rare little demographic, and we love those stories. But
so is the young breakout guy. It's just as rare to see.
But if you're a
rookie
gambling
do
man,
what
you'd
he
bet
does.
on those guys more than you would bet on a guy in his mid-30s.
Certainly, but it's also about time under tension. I mean, you know this. I mean, you live plenty of ways.
Baby.
You're not gonna walk into the gym and grab a 500-pound squat and rep it out, right? You got to build to that point, right? So I
depends.
mean, well, if you're like you, right?
No,
Everything you
I
is
don't
athletic.
do that at all. But I've seen some people that have some severe anger issues and do that from the get, and that's their outlet.
But no, I mean, think
But I
about
understand
this,
what
right? I
you're
mean, if you're gonna talk about the product and trimming the fat, I totally disagree. Decrease the amount of Monday qualifying spots, decrease the amount of sponsors exemptions, but don't take away from the guys that just spent a year on the Corn Ferry Tour making no money. They finally realize their dream, and then they get to the PGA Tour and they go, "Wow, I've got to wait 4 months before I get 2 starts in a row."
Okay,
That's
so
fucking crazy.
So here's what I would say then. So if you guys are gambling people, what would you put money on right now? Would you put money on the current system producing a better field 10 years from now, or what they're going to?
What do you say that again?
Would you put money on the current setup in 10 years time? Are you going to have stronger fields under the current system, even if it's smaller?
Without a doubt.
Or are you going to have stronger fields under the new system, because the requirements to excel are going to be so much harder that the cream at the top, I think there's a chance that could elevate people, and people that are really fucking amazing, like they're going to excel.
I don't think that. I think that it operates on a false premise.
You said
So
it yourself. You said there's ATM machines. Like they're getting rid of the ATM machines. They're getting rid of guys that can just hang out. And
but those guys have been inside the top 100 for quite some time, and they get to stay there.
I understand what they're trying to do
because the turnover, but the turnover is what they're trying to get rid of. They're trying to get rid of the turnover with everything that they've done, and that's why we talk about all these stars, right? We talk about, oh yeah, give me all these guys, and listen, Brian, I totally I don't disagree that it's fun to watch a guy win 6-7 times, but I can guarantee you on Scotty's third, fourth, fifth, and sixth win, everybody was like, is there anybody else around? No. Okay, click. Like it's boring to watch already because they're boring, but I just don't see how the product was so bad that they decided that they had to do something about it.
I also don't love getting rid of the Monday cues. That to me, that Monday cues bring up some of the best stories. And what's hilarious is it's like
heritage.
Their stats that they threw behind getting rid of the Monday cues, by the way, it was like 65% don't make it past the cut.
Yeah, they don't make the cut.
However, how many PGA Tour members don't make the cut? Like, look at that percentage, because you still got the majority of guys don't make the cut on a week-to-week basis.
But out of 100 guys that have ever Monday qualified for a PGA Tour event, how many of those guys ever turned that into a career on the PGA Tour?
If you think about it from a media perspective, that can be your quick hit that gets you a great story.
And it's a lot of money that goes
we're trading something
PGA
here.
sections as well. Right?
You're trading the hero story in.
Brent makes a good point.
They do. No, I'm on board, but I think you're trading the hero story for the potential to watch an event 10 years from now where the guy that's ranked 60th and he's in the field can still win the golf tournament, and he's known.
So Brian, here's the thing. So Brian Shane, one of our audience members, he says, so you're telling me that people got bored watching Tiger dominate? Because if you're watching Scotty win 6 to 8 times in a season is boring. I respectfully disagree.
Same.
It is boring. He's boring.
But here's the thing. I do like seeing guys win a lot.
Fuck yeah.
Scotty's incredible, and I love Scotty Scheffler.
It's like
but
saying we didn't want to see
Woods.
LeBron or like Kobe dominate. That's getting old.
The whole point of this is that I don't think shrinking the game makes the product better.
And that's where I think time will tell. They're trying to make a better product. They're trying to have a deeper field.
I just think get innovative rather than just shrinking the game, because that's the easy thing to do.
They're still going to have the same TV coverage, by the way. They're still not going to show 99% of the guys. So
we don't know the data though. Like these guys are not like, this goes back to what I was saying. You guys are saying good old boys club, but this is still based on data. And if they sit down and look at it, I'm sure we would be fucking shocked to see, all right, 120 guys get it, like whatever. Every year there's 2 or 3 fucking exceptions, but most you never hear from them again. Like they're gone. And they got the chance to get the. I think that's probably true.
Every major sport,
I know.
Every major sport is about entertainment and media, because that is how you build a fan base. And that's how you get people interested. And here's the thing. There are fans out there. They might not be the majority. They might be in the minority, but that absolutely live to watch the PGA Tour for the no-name guys breaking through and potentially winning a big golf tournament and potentially having a breakthrough. It's why I talk about, okay, could this guy be a breakthrough player if he wins, right? Because 100%. I want to give the audience the ability to go, oh, this is a name that I should remember.
For sure.
This is a name that we should absolutely be entertained by and start to watch a little bit closer when it comes to events.
Brian is on board with what I'm saying. He's like, well, then you're in it for the entertainment, not performance.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Exactly.
This is the only sport you can do this. You can't go Monday qualify and play on the Yankees. Like you're going to spend years in a farm team and be selected out of thousands of people to maybe get a chance to get brought up and play in a fucking game. And then in that game, if you fuck up, you're going right back down and you may never sniff a career in the big leagues. I don't blame the PGA Tour for trying to take a similar route to improve their product. We hate it because it's not what we're used to.
But what you're saying is going from 125 players down to 100 does that?
It's not. This is the start of it. I think this tips the iceberg. It's basically saying if you want to play out here, you're gonna have to be absolutely fucking insane. Like you're going.
They
to
are. All of them are.
Well, they're not.
They are
They're
incredible.
not.
They are. They're top of their 0.0001% of golfers. Period.
If that was the case, you wouldn't have dominant players.
What do you mean?
You wouldn't have dominant players.
I think there's just a
You have
consistency.
dominant players in every sport.
It's the guys who, because everybody who's in that top 125 is good enough to win a PGA Tour event. The thing to me is that there are guys that learn how to become very consistent in what they do. And those are the guys that end up in the top 20, top 10, top 5. And those are the guys that win on multiple occasions.
And the difference, we can agree the difference between them and the guy that's 120th is this fucking big, but that's everything in golf. And that's just our sport.
You know, you're also going to potentially lose in this are the names. You're potentially going to lose.
What do you mean?
Think of a guy like Jordan Spieth, for instance, who went through a very big lull of recent, and he's starting to get it back, right, a little by little. But if he dropped out of the top 100 players,
No, he's a life member, so he's in.
yeah, I get
He
it. It's a
did
bad,
well enough
it's a
for
bad
long enough to
example,
earn
but
that
you
spot.
lose a name, and it's like,
Justin Thomas.
Well, you're saying you're losing a name, but the only reason that you can say you're losing a name is because at one point he excelled on such a level that you're aware of.
well,
that
yeah,
name.
I mean, Brent just brought up Justin Thomas. That's a good example too. He went through a
Justin
lull.
Thomas, Patrick
Ricky
Cantlay.
Fowler.
You're right about JT. Like that's an exception. you
Ricky
know?
Fowler
Gone.
went through a
Ricky
little
Fowler
lull.
would be gone.
Yeah.
He'd be gone.
Ricky
Yeah.
Wood.
But luckily, we know who they are because at one point early on in their career,
But the whole thing
They
is, you
excel.
shrink the size of the PGA Tour, you're going to lose guys like that potentially.
you could,
And so this is the question that I have for you guys.
and that sucks.
Do you think?
Mhm.
Do
It
you
does
think
suck.
that if they took, let's say we take the top 25 right now as it stands, right? And I think there's a rookie or two in there, but let's just say it's mostly quote unquote veteran guys that have been in for 2 years or longer. And you take those 25 guys, and 5 years from now, you've got a different 25 guys. Do you believe that those names from those 25 are going to be more notable than those 25 guys at that time?
I didn't catch the whole
So
start to that.
yeah,
You're gonna have to, I'm
the
sorry to have you
25
say that
guys
again.
right now, the
Yeah.
top 25 guys right
Uh-huh.
now.
Yeah.
And we fast forward in 5 years, and you've got a quote unquote different 25 guys. Do you think that those 25 guys right now,
Mhm.
Rory, Jordan, Justin, Patrick, all those guys, Scotty, right, in 5 years are going to have more or less notoriety or notability than the 25 guys in the
No,
future?
you're going to have 5 to 10 of them that make the cut and stay relevant for that amount of time. And I'm going to prophesize that they're probably younger, the ones that do.
So you believe that there's going to be enough turnover to see that top 25 guys on the PGA Tour to be
If the
different enough
talent's
and
deep
notable enough?
But you said this a couple pods ago, guys that come out that are John Rahms. I mean, you can change and this is another point, right? You can change the landscape and make it harder all you want. The fact of the matter is these great talents just may not occur. Like you just might not have enough guys to rise to the cream to be like crazy fucking, all-star multiple tour winners. You might just have to let some of these guys in that because they just don't exist. Like you said,
Yeah,
there's not a lot of John Rahms that are coming out every year.
Oh, I don't disagree, but at the end of the
No,
day,
it was your
what we're
point.
talking- yeah, exactly. Oh,
You
I
made the point.
I don't disagree with your explanation of that point, but I think the problem is what are we trying to accomplish? And as a PGA Tour member currently, I mean, whatever, at the end of the day, they're clearly showing that they want a closed shop.
Yes.
And the problem is they have no explanation for it. They just say, well, it's because of daylight or whatever. But whomever it is, by the way, whether it's a corporate structure or just the players sitting in a back room, which hate to tell you, Josh, it is just those six players sitting in a back room. But at
They're
the
being
end of the
fed
day,
the data, though.
Call me by my
well, they're
first
being
name,
no,
you know he's serious.
they directed the PGA Tour to make up a subcommittee to create. Oh, what reason can we have? Oh, daylight. Okay. Which, by the way, none of these guys play at dark. None of them do. Right.
No.
So what would be the point? other than to give some breadcrumbs to
Money.
the normal people.
Money.
Yeah, but that's the point, is that it's about
You
keeping it
follow
for
the
themselves.
sponsorship and like the amount of massive companies that are investing in the PGA Tour, and who's going to carry
Less and less per year.
No, I understand, but like you know, who's going to carry the torch longer in terms of a long-term investment from a huge company? I mean, it's just not going to. It's not going to be the once-in-a-lifetime hero situation.
I just don't. Here's the whole thing. I don't think the product gets better by going from 125 down to 100. I don't think more like you become more known about guys that are in 50th to 100. I just think that they are closing down the number of players to make it more of a closed system. It's not going to be any more entertaining. I do believe that this is a move that is for the membership of the guys who are currently members and in a good position in terms of being in the top 50. And
Yeah, but if you're going to do that, wouldn't you chop way more than 20 off the top? Like if
that wouldn't fly.
Well, they can't
that
go. They can't go any further, right? So think about
this is the
this.
first move. This is the start.
I see what you're saying.
Exactly. So
I mean,
so
their
they've already
goal-
not touched. Go ahead.
Their goal is to get down to what LIV is at about 80 players. The number of players for signature series events. Then they're going to get rid of cuts entirely, and it's just going to be a tour of 80 players that basically you see the same
Tiger's won
guys
it all along.
time and time again. And here's the thing: is it necessarily a terrible thing? It
Yes.
sucks for getting
Everybody.
to experience, because who knows what golfers we are going to miss out on through that format.
It's going to be terrible.
Trot says, "Why would a company sponsor a tour event?" I mean,
Great question.
that's pretty simple answer. You know, you're hyper focused on a high earning demographic, and it's probably one of the best tax write offs for a company that can afford it.
They don't.
to market
They
to
don't
those.
get back. They don't get back anywhere near the investment.
Well, they
that
don't have
put
to.
in.
It's a fucking tax write off, and nowhere
Yeah,
else
but-
in the world can you put money into an event that is a tax write off to hyper focus your company on a certain demographic, which is, you know, 22 to
Certainly. I
50
mean,
and a massive household income.
But you could also.
They
but you
have their
could
data
also
that
say
sells to those guys.
Yeah, for sure. But I mean, I speak to the people that are in charge of sponsor relationships for multiple different tournaments, including elevated events like Jack's event. I can tell you beyond a shadow of a doubt, sponsors are not happy. They're not happy at all, because they have to deal with the tour basically doing whatever they want and then telling the sponsors, you're going to give us more money. That doesn't work. I mean, it's exactly. What's a ZOZO? But yeah, I mean, I have no idea what ZOZO is. I used to know that.
No, I'm
from
with you. Like, for our purpose, Trot, you know, it's not for us. But it's not a bad place to spend your money if you got to get rid of a lot of money and
Sure.
you'd like to market it to that group of people. For us, yeah,
But they
of course,
also,
you see through
but
that.
they also are business people that year in and year out, if they're putting millions and millions of dollars away, they're gonna have to see an ROI.
Yeah, you're gonna need to see something out of it. You're not gonna.
They want a
to
better
sponsor it.
product. And here's the thing: just shrinking the tour membership does not make a better product.
And I don't know. I mean, I think I'm with you, but I think there's still some landscape to play out here over the next few years as to whether or not that's going to be 100% the case.
That's the problem, though, right? So and this is something I texted a good buddy of mine this morning. I said it would be a huge mistake for them to make this change and then just go about the same way that they make every other change. Was we'll just wait and see if it works out. Meanwhile, people are losing their jobs, they're losing their income, they're having to find a whole new different way to make money. And these are guys that are perfectly capable of winning on the PGA Tour. Now, going back to Matt's point, which I totally agree with, if you can make the Korn Ferry Tour a better product, then great. But here's what's going to suck. If they don't improve the media side and the cameras and all that other stuff and getting to know they better get to know every single one of those 100 motherfuckers. Otherwise, it's going to be right back to where it was, where you get 5 guys on the TV and that's all you know. And then everybody's sitting there going, okay, so nothing's changed.
Well, it's been that way forever, Brent. I mean, it's been that
Yeah,
way
but
before
at
they
least, well,
knocked 20
I
people
would
out
say
of the field.
since Jay Monahan took over, it's been that way for a long time.
It's been that way
Well,
since
Tim Fincham-
fucking 2000.
No,
What are you
for a
talking
long
about?
time there were plenty of guys that we got to know over the years. Plenty of guys.
Again, I want to get to this one by Brian here. Okay. Let me ask this. Should LIV expand their fields? What would make LIV better? I've got a very simple answer to this. First of all, yes, they need to expand the number of teams that they have as franchises. However, how do they make the LIV product better? Actually have the teams play against each other.
Bang.
That is the key. If they just do it as an individual golf tournament to where there's a team aspect, it's never going to gain the traction that it needs.
And shotgun.
I'm with you on that 100%.
We need to see, and that's one of the interesting things, by the way, and we do need to wrap up this particular segment. But that being said, this is going to move us into LIV Golf really quick because there's a couple updates there. But I do want to mention, as far as LIV Golf is concerned, actually, we're just going to get right into LIV Golf. With LIV Golf, Greg Norman's contract is expiring in August of 2025.
That's facts.
That's facts. He actually went on and had an interview with Sports Illustrated. The other interesting fact that I found out from that interview, which I didn't get it from my sources, this is from the Sports Illustrated interview, is that Greg has had no knowledge of the negotiations whatsoever. They have kept him out of the entire thing.
On his way out, as they probably would.
He's on his way out.
Yeah, it's over.
He was meant to serve a purpose, and he served that purpose, and he got his paycheck, and he's done.
I mean, have you seen those beach pictures? I mean, he was the BSD out there, just hammer fisting shit. I mean, guys should absolutely wear underwear.
He was the face forward figurehead that launched the whole thing, and now they don't need him anymore.
They needed an ego guy to get that thing started, and he was the guy.
Yep.
So those are the two big ones there, and that really bodes the question that, okay, if he's gone after, in 2025, and he's just looking to build out the schedule through 2025, he said that's his main objective right now. Does LIV actually survive past 2025?
Yeah, because here's what they do. I'm going to tell you right now. They take the Sheik, okay, the head financier. What's his name?
Yasir al-Rumayyan.
Yeah, at every fucking event, he comes out with a parade of elephants, and on the front elephant, he's up there, and he's on a little velvet bed that looks like a magic carpet, and there's
like
people
Aladdin.
on top of there standing up there, and they're wafting it with palm fronds, and that's how they kick off every
Sounds like Aladdin.
Love that.
No, I don't know what that is, but
Sounds great.
yeah, I've never seen that.
I think that would make a lot more people interested. The other part that before I was going to get into the LIV Golf updates is the TGL. This is the magical piece that I think people are overlooking. I think people look at golf simulators and so forth. I actually think this. No, here's the thing. I think this could be because they're about to do what LIV Golf should be doing. Teams are playing against each other. And it is in a match play type of setup. I think the format sucks, to be honest.
Simulator.
No, yeah, but it is a massive screen. Do you know how big this screen is?
I don't have any idea. My buddy is their head of player relations. I'll find out some more information.
Get some dimensions on that.
The dimensions are like 10 times the size of a movie theater screen.
Like IMAX of golf.
It is massive. So,
but it's still a simulator.
They are hitting from far enough back, and they're using top tracer technology for it. They did switch from the radar, the Doppler radar from full swing to the actual. So they're going to be hitting, I think, from like 20, 30 yards back from the screen.
I mean, Brent, some would say we live in a simulation. So, you know,
but they're going to be playing to a real green.
What is real golf?
They're going to be playing to a real green that is a virtual green that is going to undulate based off of what the undulation
is. And then
is.
they putt on that.
Yeah. And they hit bunker shots and everything. So I actually think this is going to be bigger than what people think it is going to be.
I agree with you. People
for
will
about
watch
2.5 seconds.
No, people are going to watch that, dude.
I don't think so, man.
And they're going to start consuming in shorter spurts. They're not going to be invested for, their entire weekend. Like they're going to get to watch some shit. But
and it's filling a dead period. I mean, it's going to be on ESPN.
And not
The Ocho.
The Ocho.
No, not the Ocho.
No, definitely not.
Main
no,
frame.
ESPN.
Yeah, main.
It's going to be on Monday nights.
So walk me. So These guys fly in on their PJs on a Monday night, play some 20, 30-minute golf rounds, and
It's head-to-head
out.
matchups.
Yeah.
So it's team versus team. There's no, oh, we're going to have 3 or 4 teams going up against each other tonight.
Yeah, I don't
It's going
think
to be
it matters if you're hitting into
team
a
versus
screen.
team.
You got to be the best one that hits into a screen.
The format's weird though. It's not a straight match play, and I do. That's the only thing I question with this whole thing is, will the format work? They're going like 6 holes at a time with different formats.
Okay.
So it's like alternate shot. It's like I got to look back into it because it's been a year since I really had all the information around it.
Ah,
But there's going to be like 6 holes that are like an alternate shot. There's going to be some other weird format for another 6 holes. It'll be interesting.
I'll watch
that's
it.
true. For about 2.5 seconds.
I'll gamble on it for sure. If they got odds.
Well,
on
we're
it,
going to find out come
fucking
January.
watching it.
I think it's just an absolute money grab, to be honest.
The whole thing's a
That's
fucking
just-
money grab. I mean, my God.
No, it wasn't for years, but you know.
No, but I have been wanting, as a tech guy who comes from that industry, I've been waiting for somebody to do this.
To see that hit.
This is the holy grail of what we always talked about with indoor golf, of hitting your full shots in a simulator and then being able to have your short game played out in real life. That's going to be pretty damn sweet.
Yeah, you got
and
the.
only the top players in the world are going to get to do it.
Hopefully there's going to be expansions and more franchises.
Mm.
But
But they don't remember, these same people that are in this organization are the same people that just decreased.
I was just
the
going to say
PGA
that's
Tour,
exactly the
so-
formula. Why are they doing it that way? Like, oh, well, because we want to watch the best ones. We want to watch the best ones.
That's what they think, right? They think, well, the golf fan only wants to see the best players.
I
Well,
would say
that's funny.
99% of your average
I
golf
can-
fan only want to see the best players.
I can guarantee you that if the product, like you said, Buttsy, has been the same for so many years, and it's only been viewed by the only top players getting viewed, then what's the point? Whether it's
Well,
125 or 150.
I'll give you my
or-
personal rendition. Here's how I consume golf personally.
Buttsy on a soapbox.
I'm a huge fan of the game. I love watching the PGA Tour, but I watch Sunday and I watch the back nine, and that's what I watch. I don't watch the
A
whole
lot of people
fucking
do.
tournament. I don't give a shit if I don't care about the story. I want to watch what 6 dudes or 10 dudes are duking it out on Sunday coming down the stretch.
and you're probably more interested if it's a big name.
100%. Absolutely. And if somebody that wasn't a big name is now the underdog and they have a chance to overtake the big name, it's like watching NASCAR, baseball, any other fucking sport. That's what I'm paying attention to, and that's what I
But
give a fuck
that
about.
is more
I consume
compelling.
30 minutes of it. Like,
That's more compelling than the same guys week in and week out.
yeah,
That's way more compelling.
absolutely. That's what I'm
Well,
interested
kiss
in.
that goodbye, because that's absolutely gone.
That's what?
It's absolutely gone. The underdog story's gone. It's just kiss it goodbye.
Well, the underdog story's not gone. The underdog can still be in the top 100 in the world
Yeah,
and be out there.
So this is my point: is that in order to get there, they're no longer an underdog. This is my point: is that in order to get to that place, with basically 5 events in the first 5 months, maybe. There you go. That's funny. But at the end of the day, if in order to be in the top 100 in the world, you have to basically no longer be an underdog. You're no longer an underdog, which is great, but you won your tour event. It's over.
No, you're
It's
still an
done. You're an
underdog.
underdog
It's
event.
just there's a shift from what a low class underdog is to now like what a real
Oh,
underdog
come
is how I would
Come
look
on.
at it. You're talking about 100 guys.
Click that eyeball that says the number of audience.
Like 4.
No, we've got 1,300. I just want to see where they're coming from. Okay. Cool. Thank you.
So here's my question.
China.
So what China? China. What was
Big Asian week on Pro
Big
Golf.
Asian
We,
week.
we
Huge.
talked
It is
about
what it is. Zozo.
absolutely huge? But what do you guys think is going to happen when essentially you're going to see the same guys for multiple weeks in a row? I mean, what's going to happen
Brent,
after the first 4 or 5 weeks?
I get your point on this, and here's the thing. Just shrinking the numbers, I'm in full agreement with you, is not going to make the product better. It is not going to build out the stories any better. It is not going to make sure that the top guys are at the top of the leaderboard every single week. They need to do a better job with the media side to all of this.
Agreed.
We need better coverage, because I think it might have been Brian Shane who mentioned it. He's like, the product, especially back in the older days, was boring. I remember watching it as I got
it's
into
been going
golf,
forever.
and I used to use golf coverage to fall asleep because
Yeah,
it was
it's been that way
great falling
forever.
asleep stuff.
And it's
Now
still that way.
it's very much so. The only one that I truly do like is CBS with Jim Nance, because of Jim Nance. I mean, that
Yeah, but
just
the
as
Masters is the only.
as a broadcaster host guy, I'm like,
Yeah,
man,
for sure.
I love listening to him and his insights and everything like that. But the product needs to get better, and that starts with better stories, better media coverage, and that stems from HQ at the PGA Tour. They rely way too much on the Golf Channel and these stations to do all of their work for them, and that is not a good thing.
Yeah, so like what you're saying is basically whether you cut the field or not, okay, cut it, but you're still missing here.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's still a miss here.
Like, that's what needs to get better.
That needs to radically change. Yeah.
So
Yeah,
that's
I totally agree.
that's where we're going to end it tonight, guys. We got much more to talk about next week, as there's no golf this weekend, folks. I looked, I was like, wait a second, is the DP World Tour playing? No. Is the PGA Tour playing? No. Is anybody playing? No. So there's no golf this weekend, so enjoy your football.
Get out and tee it up.
Get out and tee it up. Go actually play, folks. Go play the game that we all love. We're going to be doing it as well. And yeah, so Brian says need more than one pod per week, fellas.
I agree, Brian.
Brian, we are working on that specifically. We might be doing
Top
it every
secret.
day next year.
Top secret.
Top secret.
Don't fucking when the prologue comes along, you must sip it.
Sip it good.
Sip it good.
You were just giving me shit earlier about getting excited.
I know.
Sip it.
I get too excited with this shit.
Hold back.
Oh man.
Patience.
Patience, young man. Wax on, wax on. Thank you, Mr.
Oh,
It was an
this
Asian
is
week.
shocking
I mean,
content, guys. It's shocking
shocking.
content.
Absolutely shocking.
Bring in the fucking energy. Come on.
Okay. Folks,
on.
if you are still with us, which there's more people listening right now than there were when we started. So that's always a
maybe we
good
should
thing.
keep going.
Down my leg.
Maybe we should go. Maybe we should keep going.
We're going on almost 2 hours here. So
But it's not 2 hours though.
oh boy, Brent,
Unfortunately.
I know you are not done with this topic. I
No,
know
he's fired up.
It's never over.
we're gonna have a continuation, a part 2 of this next week.
And I'm just literally sitting here like I really actually agree with you guys, but for the
I know
sake
you
of,
are
I'm just
literally
trying to
digging into
instigate
poor
the
Brent.
fuck out of you
And
guys.
what's great is that I don't think he knew that until you just said it either, because
knew that.
he is he's getting frustrated.
How could you possibly
Frustrated. He's like, how do you not understand that
know
this
you,
is
man.
not a better product?
Oh, I know. But, that doesn't make for a fucking entertaining evening, does it?
No. Yep.
Gotta bring the pain, boys. Come on.
Gotta bring the pain.
Boy, Jared over there.
Folks, we do want to give a shout out and a thank you to our show sponsor, Swannies. Folks, utilize Pull Hook Golf 25, which is the promo code. Pull Hook Golf 25 is the name of the podcast plus the number 25.
I'm in, Brian.
And you get
go.
25% off your entire order at swannies.co. Folks, every Tuesday night we are live recording this podcast, and it comes out Thursday morning as a fully produced show. Our video editor does a phenomenal job. Make sure to check
I'm
us
in
out on
studio next
social
week.
media, on Instagram especially. We got the TikTok going. We got, sure enough, good old X. I haven't been as active on X lately. I haven't been getting into all the arguments with everybody, but
Nah, you're past that. Now you just let them hate amongst themselves.
yeah, I love it.
Watch the
A little bit of news.
folks
I'll
fight.
be in studio next week.
Brent Grant in studio.
Oh, that's right.
How about a round of applause
dang.
for Brent Grant being in studio?
Where's he going to sit? Where's he going
Right
to
on
sit?
that.
It is
Right there, buddy. Right on your right shoulder.
Right here, man.
So until next week, guys, peace out. A-Town
Toodles.
down.